早急に取り掛かるぞ。
East 1. The Dora is the 7 of cracks. The player is West.
I'd love to see some tile drawing magic here.
Let's see how this battle unfolds. Who's going to make the first call here? This table is so quiet I could hear a pin drop. The player, one step in the right direction.
This hand is really beginning to come together.
The player, gaining momentum.
The next few tiles could make a huge difference.
Things are at a standstill. The air is tense as the players take their turns. The player is already one tile to tenpai.
This hand is very near completion.
The player on the left discards another BAM. Who's going to pull away from the pack? How? My, oh my, and there's the beach!
I'm curious to see if this develops into a confrontation.
Will it be possible to catch up here? Excellent evasive action. No one dares to make the first move. The player's going for it.
That tile made it through.
Not giving up on this one. Safe! The air is very tense at this moment.
The player on the right has discarded that tile.
Have things calmed down for the moment? Any calls on this tile? Took a pass for now. Is this hand going to end quietly? What to do with this still holding back? The player, that's a pass on tenpai.
Decided that dots aren't worth.
There it is! That's a roan from the left.
The player on the left, a very favorable start.
The player on the left takes a modest lead. East 2. The Dora is the 1 of cracks. The player is South. The player on the left is in first.
At the moment, this is anyone's game.
This is not an easy spot to work around. East 2. 1 counter. The Dora is the 2 of dots. The player is South. How does this starting hand look to you?
A quick tenpai is very much in the cards here.
The stage is set. Anything can happen. The player is already 1 tile to tenpai.
It's important to find the best possible weight.
What's going to happen to this score gap? The player, is there any way to turn the tables here? This table is so quiet. Any calls on this? Took a pass for now. Look at that Dora! Things are at a standstill. What to do? Still holding back. The air is the player. Still no calls. The player across continues to discard simples. Who's going to the player? Is it time for a call? The player across drops a pair. How are the players going to My oh my! Chasing Deech!
Gotta be cautious against an East Deech.
Will it be possible to catch up here?
That's a safe tile for the player across the table. That's a safe tile for the entire table.
No.
There it is! The player on the right takes a beating.
That took care of that East Deech.
リーチ、メンホン、ハク、ドラ、ハネマン。
East 3. The Dora is the 2 of Bams. The player is East. The player across the table is in first.
Still very much in a position to win the game.
Now, let's watch how things develop. What's going to happen to this score gap? The player, one step in the right direction.
This is the point where skill really factors in.
The player, gaining momentum.
This hand is really beginning to come together.
The player across drops a pair. Any calls on the took a pass for now. The player, is there any way to turn the tables here? The player on the left continues to discard simples. Another useless draw. What to do with this top? Still holding back. Things are at a standstill. The air is tense as the players take their turns. The player across. Just the player. Is it still no calls? My oh my, and there's the beach!
There are any number of responses here.
Will it be possible to catch up here? The player, one tile to Tempai.
Certain tiles will fit right into this hand. Others will gradually transform it.
Who will seize the win this hand?
This can't complete an open weight across the table. The player across the table has discarded that tile.
The player's going for it.
That tile.
Nobody wins this shootout.
Only the player across the table is tenpai.
East 4, 1 counter. The Dora is the 5 of dots. The player is North, heading into the final hand of the match.
The player will win with a mangan off the player across the table.
Well, it's hard to know just how this will turn out. Any calls? I took a pass for now. The player is already 1 tile to tenpai.
This hand is very near completion.
What to do with this still holding back? The player on the left continues to discard simples. The player is still no calls. Doubled up on a tile that was just discarded. Look at that! The player, tenpai! What's going to happen to this score gap? The player, is there any way to turn the tables here? My, oh my, and there's the beach!
There are any number of responses here. The player across the table has discarded that tile.
Beach! Chasing the... Oh my!
No.
There it is!
No.
Pots! The player on the right takes a beating.
Wow, what a show! I'm very curious about the results here.
I'm simply blown away!
ドラリーチ一発タイヤを
ドラドラ漫画
全然なってない。全てやり直せ。